Welcome to PCB Views. I'm Farid Patan from New Jersey, United States, and Mr. Farhad Hussain from Dhaka, and also Iftikhar Ahmed is from Dhaka. We're going to discuss about today about the United Nations High Commissioner Human Rights, Dr. Volker Turk, had a report 2 hours ago, and also about the Manipur. The Manipur is on fire again. United Nations reports July Revolution and Manipur. These three things we're going to go through today. First of all, I will go to Mr. Farhad Hussain. Uh, would you please tell what's going on in Manipur? That Manipur is on a fire again. What's going on in there? 2 days ago, Mr. Chief Minister, Mr. Byron Singh, resigned, and also the Home Minister of India. He came to Manipur to settle this whatever is going on in there.
Thank you, Patan Bhai. You have invited me in this show. Thank you. Thank Mithu Bhai. I'm very much happy that I have been given privilege having a very important question, particularly on Manipur. Manipur has become a very unrest state of India right now.
Mhm.
It is unrest more than Kashmir. There are so many reasons behind this. And the unrest situation has gone to that extent that Manipur's chief minister, Biren Singh, from BJP background, has already resigned because of the pressure, the pressure he has been facing from internal side, which is intensified, and he was not in a position exactly to continue his office as prime minister, as chief minister. And you know that it has been reported that already 11 Kokis have been killed by the reckless firing, by the gunfire, and the dead bodies of the two cookie ladies have been found, and a fresh exactly conflict has already been started in Imphal, that very capital city, and
Okay.
that is why the situation here is so deteriorated. The chief minister is compelled to resign, and not only that, the Kuki communities or Kuki ethnic groups are totally convinced that Biren Singh is responsible for creating this unrest situation. It is it is a pressure, you know, and you know that Indian Lok Sabha has already been exactly unrest, particularly the discussion of Manipur. Number one and number two, Prime Minister Narendra Modi now is trying to change the governance of the two eastern states. One is Manipur's governor, and another is the governor of Mizoram. And I think that it is my assumption and presumption the changing of the governor will not bring any sort of situation any sort of situation coming quite particularly for these two states, because this unrest situation is not a new one. You know that more or less people of the Seven Sisters are not satisfied with the governance of the Union government of India, because they have got a keen sense of possessing and addressing their exactly different identity of ethnicity, language, history, heritage, and etc., for which we have fought in 1952. This tendency, more or less, exactly you will find in several northeastern states of India. Manipuri people are very much concerned about their tribal language, that is their own language. And there is a categorical and deliberate attempt, particularly from the Union government, to overlap their language, their history and heritage. Every nation I would like to inform this. These are not, I mean, the northeastern states, most of the northeastern states are not the part of Indian Union territory. It is because of the British occupation and setting their Christianity to convert the people in Christianity. India, after 1947, has owned this state as union territory. It has been declared earlier in 19th century. The states have been declared as the union territory, but there was a dissatisfaction. But in 1947, that was the rigorous, exactly attempts taken by the Indian government, independent Indian government, exactly to include those states. But the people are not satisfied. They were not exactly mentally prepared to live
What do you
in their
think?
state life with the union territory of India.
Yes, Farhad Bhai, what do you think about the Mizoram and Manipur? They are also the neighbor state of Arakan and Kachin. Uh, that
Very important question. Yes,
it's a newly formed the Burma Act is also in there. United States is looking for something different in that region.
I have come to know by this time, I have come to know from different sources that Mizo militants and
Mhm.
Arakan militants have already entered the soil of Manipur, and the situation is very much grievous. And you know that there is a particular reason which should be mentioned here, that the Union troops are not in a position to control the situation. What is the reason? Because of the geographical feature of Manipur. It's quite different from the geographical feature of northern India, and most of the Union troops exactly taken from the background of North Indian or West Indian. They weren't exactly habituated exactly to move in the hilly areas. But the
Yeah,
Manipuri militants,
Only the impal is only in a plain land. The rest of the Manipur, they are in the
the
hilly and mountains.
yes, Imphal is a plain land, but rest of the Manipur is not the plain land. These
Right.
are these other portions of Manipur are giving always the unfriendly gesture, particularly for the people who are the newcomers there. And
Mhm.
the members of the Indian troops have been facing this difficulty because they are not in a position to move freely and knock in corner of Manipur, and that is why it is convenient position for the militants of Kuki and other militants coming from Arakan and Mizoram. They are exactly habituated to move on in the hillock areas, and
Okay.
that is why union troops are in a very miserable condition to move on and to take a control over the state.
Mhm. So now I'll go to Mr. Iftikhar Ahmed. What do you think about the Chittagong and the hill tracks? There are millions of Rohingyas. They are in hill tracks that district. So far, I know 1.3 million people are from Myanmar, from Arakan. So, do you think and that is going to impact something on our demographic, problem? What do we see in a, southeastern region?
Well, Pathan Bhai, nobody is at all discussing the matter of Rohingya problems
Hmm.
as if it never happened.
You know
But
that
this is a big
the
issue.
United States aid is already they have freezed. So, how are we going to feed all these 1.2 million people in there?
No idea. Beats me. No idea. What is going to happen to them? Because we're already having in the hill tracks other problems as well with the Chakmas and other Kukichin.
Mhm.
These Rohingyas, nobody talks. And I am not updated about this Rohingya issue right now at all. What can I say? This is a very alarming thing.
I didn't hear anything from the opposition party, political party, or any political party. They are talking about this Rohingya issues,
Mhm.
how they're going to handle this, and also Dr. Yunus government how because the economy is not great, but
Mhm.
European aid is there, but
Mhm.
U.S. aid is already frozen for 90 days.
Mhm.
So how things is going to go? If anything happen long run, then you will see that the social unrest in that region is going to start soon.
Yeah, that's what happened when the Rohingyas entered first in the first phase. The social unrest and the mugging and stabbing went up like anything, looting. But after that, as if all media and everywhere hush hush, nothing happened, and as if they never entered, they don't exist except Chittagonian people. Nobody discuss about them. We do not see about them in the main media or any media at all. How this is a big issue. 3 million almost will be. When they came, they were merely 400,000 or 600,000. Now, what will you do? There has to be a plan B. You can give them, issue them if the government of Myanmar doesn't take them. What will you do? You will give them its refugee status or citizenship and send them in in Middle East as workforce. Because when during my Hajj in 2007, I find out in Mina, in each tent, majority of the workers are Rohingyas.
Mhm.
So they speak fluent Arabic. They can mix with the people. So we can utilize that workforce. But what will happen? I have no idea, Patan Bhai.
Mm.
If you ask me about the current hill tracks scenario, I can explain that a little bit.
Now I will ask you, Mr. Iftikhar Ahmed. United
Mhm.
Nations they reported about the July Revolution.
Mhm.
The Volker Turk just 2 hours ago he just reported, and what the report came out that he found. He was in there in Bangladesh. What he found that forced disappearance and extrajudicial killing been going on for a long time during the previous regime. Do you think that will impact the Bangladesh Awami League political party being exist and practice in Bangladesh, or is going to have a hardship to
Nah,
continue their political party agendas?
I'm actually not into politics or
Because
any. I don't
it
support.
seems like the what the report is. It seems like a genocide been going on in the last
Yeah, that
20 years.
cannot be denied. Reality, nobody can deny. So when it will be proven something really wrong happened, I think UN or international community will definitely take some punitive measures. But I'm not here in any position to pass any comments regarding this matter. But I can say only this much. Uh, there is a thing saying called karma.
Hmm.
Karma, you remember? The
Yeah,
deeds, whatever. If you do bad things, eventually you have to pay.
it will come
Hurt
back.
it, maybe. It will come back.
Mhm.
So this is such a critical thing and the technical thing replied I have to give. Instead of going to any complication, I'll say that I came to know this only 2 hours ago. I have not gone to the details of each and every matter of the subject. So I am sorry that I cannot reply your question properly in each matter regarding this students' revolution or the you're talking to me about the
Now
report.
yeah, the second question to you. What do you think
Mhm,
about Mr. Chief Advisor, our Dr. Yunus? He
yes.
visited the Ainaghar yesterday.
Mhm,
What do you think about what he found? Because some of the victims was there with him, and they've been explaining how they've been passing so many days in there. What do you think
mhm.
about that report?
It's very shocking to see these kind of things. That in the small, Dr. Yunus, I think the barrister, Arman went there. What's his name? Barrister Mir Qasim said.
Aman Azmi.
Aman Azmi went there, and also another barrister went there. Aman Azmi is the Brigadier General,
Yeah,
Sword
Brigadier.
of Honor. He went
Yeah,
there, and another fellow went there. There were three total fellow went before.
right.
When
The
they
victims
were
were
showed
there. Uh-huh.
exactly where to spend 8 months or some time.
Mm,
How a person can survive there, that's a big question mark.
It
Dr.
is.
Universe said, it is. How? In this scorching heat? It's inhuman.
Mhm.
So, when there is a big question, why after 6 months?
Mm.
The
But,
media is saying that. Different channels are saying that. I'm not saying that.
look,
Why after six
Dr.
months?
Yunus government been filling up all the demand from 136. All the people been waiting for to
Mhm.
find their all the demand, and now it's only
Yes.
one government, which sounds like it's a demanded government is in there. So whatever,
Mm.
like 15 years they could have asked,
Mhm.
now
Mhm.
everybody's coming out and from a dark and asking for. I don't
It
know.
seems that we can
Is it?
only ask questions, but we cannot find the answer.
All right.
Now your previous show, I said there's 1% facing 100 in 6 months' time. I think 136 challenges, which never nobody faced in their lifetime. No
Mhm,
ruler, and
mhm,
you want that to be fixed, the problem to be fixed overnight, instantly. How it is possible? At last, he went there. He managed to visit every place, and he was really surprised.
mhm.
It's off to him.
Okay.
He went there inside, saw each and every detail. It is his niceness, I should say. And
Okay.
he was really shocked. If he was not going there, we would not be seeing this as a general public. What is called Ainagol, we do not have any idea. It's just the people said, whoever was there in their mouth. But now we have seen the visual, it is. We have seen we heard the audio. That is just the video. So
Right.
this is
Right.
like a horror movie, to
Mhm.
us.
I'll come back to
Shocking.
you
It's
again.
shocking.
I'll come back to you again. Now I'm going to ask Dr. Farhad Hussain, Mr. Farhad Hussain, that look. Do you think that Mr. Dr. Yunus government is doing exactly what people been looking for, or what is your expectation from him, and how this the government is going to come out and do something for the people of Bangladesh, as for
Farid Bhai,
economy and as for the economy and the security issues.
Farid Bhai, I'll pick up this question.
Hmm.
After completing about Manipur, after
Hmm.
completing, some something should be mentioned that is
All
very
right.
important related to the eruption of Manipur that is going on right now.
Hmm.
The mainstream citizens of Manipur, realizing the situation, have already exactly sat together for discussion, but unfortunately, they are not now in a position to bring about a particular change, to bring a solution to the conflicting prevailing situation. One thing. And the MLA from Koki, Methai, and Naga, they are
Hmm.
also exactly, they have also sat together for discussion, but they are also not in a position right now to bring about a particular solution to the conflicting picture of Manipur. The thing is that, as you have asked me the question about Indo-Pacific, sorry, Burma Act
All
and
right.
American Senate, and the situation exactly clearly speaks that the Manipur situation is proceeding towards the Burma Act, exactly the purpose of the United States of America to create a particular state. If this kind of eruption and unrest situation can continue for a long time, it will be really difficult for the Union government of India exactly to continue the state life within the state life of the union government of India. That will be, it will be really tough for Indian government to make control anymore over Manipur. If Manipur would be splintered in the impending days, this tendency will be followed by other northeastern states of India. And I'll not be surprised if I see India in a very disintegrated position in the impending days. Now, I would like to come to your question about Professor Dr. Yunus, now governing the country as the chief
Yeah,
advisor of the
the
present
question
interim government.
is how you see the optimistic or pessimistic about this government.
I am repeatedly saying one thing, that 6 or 7 months is not enough for a government exactly to address many things. You know that the people of Bangladesh are under so many demands. So, how far it is possible on the part of a government which is not elected by the people. It is a interim government formed in a very extemporal way, shortly because of the situation, a dramatic change taken place in Bangladesh politically by the uprising of the people or the movement of the people or revolution of the people.
Mhm.
So I think that I do not find any sort of insincerity of Yunus government to address the demands of the people. Rather, Dr. Yunus government is found sincere enough and to address all the problems, all the demands. But the time is very short. It is really tough for a government to exactly mitigate all the demands, all the desires of the people within 6 or 7 months. I think that the people who are educated, who have got the knowledge of state life, they should be convinced exactly. They should be convinced that Yunus government is leaving no stone unturned to exactly to mitigate or satisfy the people according to their desires and demands.
Farad Bhai, that the 17, the commission being submitted their the report, and the anti-corruption commission, the election commission, the judiciary commission. Do you think Dr. Yunus got all the time to do that? All these commissions, what about the reforms that the people been looking for? Do you think Mr. Yunus got any time? Because he's looking for the election by end of this year. Is it possible to go through all the commission's report and come out with a result? Or
I
he
think that
might
the
pass
commissions,
it to
I
the
think
next
that
government?
11 commissions have been formed and the
Mhm.
report of the 7 commissions have already been submitted. And I think that 11 commissions, reports of the 11 commissions will be submitted very soon. But the thing is that implementation will be left to the next government. You know, the
Mhm.
government who is coming after the election. That is very
Right.
important
Yeah.
because there are so many recommendations in the
Mhm.
commission. So it will not be exactly a easy walk or easy task for Yunus government exactly to address all the recommendations, particularly to be implemented in different sectors or diverse levels of the republic. But I believe that Dr. Yunus government has indicating something which is illuminating, particularly with desire and hope. And I believe that the reformations that have been adapted and recommended in the Commission's report that will be exactly helpful in the coming days for the people of the country. Because you know that the geoparadising situation is going on in different important organizations of the government for many years and the
Right.
commissions have been exactly formed with an objective of removing these jeopardizing situations and to remove corruption and everything and exactly to constitute a very important governmental structure which will be free from corruption. And I believe that the indications and recommendations which would be proposed particularly in different commissions will be implemented by the elected government exactly come after the election. The important thing is that Dr. Yonos has got a particular sincere attitude to indicate through the commission what is our problems and what should be done.
I will go now to. I'll come back to you, Farad Bhai. Now, Mr. Iftikhar Ahmed, you know that Prime Minister of India, he's on the way to Washington D.C. He's going to meet with Donald Trump in a days, next tomorrow or day after tomorrow. There are a lot of illegal Indians. They are living in United States, documented and undocumented. So he might deal with these things. What do you think about the meeting between Mr. Modi and Donald Trump? The outcome of
The
this?
answer, yeah, I know. The answer lies with Farad Bhai, but I start with his one of the reply. The honeymoon is over. Honeymoon
Okay,
is over
may I take
between.
the uh,
I'll, I'll,
am
I'll
I
I'll come
permit?
back to you. 2 minutes. I'm coming
Okay,
back to you. 2 minutes. Because I started with your one reply of one question last time. You said the honeymoon is over between India and America. So, that's the thing. So actually, Indian media is showing one thing, Pathan Bhai, correct me, that 40 hours in C-17 cargo jet, that they were transported to India. 40 hours, is it 40 hours or 20 hours?
About
Oh,
22 hours.
so that's about it. So I said, now no, nobody believes. I said 40 hours, this jet cannot fly at one go. No, it has to be refueled.
Mhm.
So whatever happened, I'll not go to details. Everybody knows from the media. But this will not be rosy picture, Mr.
The
Tra-
first trip was 200, and the second trip was
Mhm,
about 100 and somewhere in 80, close to 200.
mhm,
But there are like
mhm,
18,000 they must leave immediately, and
mhm.
about 700,000 is on the way to go. Do
But the
you think
total
it is
figure is
possible?
725,000. The
Yes,
total figure is 700, officially 725,000. What
right,
will you do
right.
with them? You cannot send them through the aircraft. It is too
Uh,
expensive. $3,000 per person. Who is
you
going to
need a
pay for
ship.
that?
You need a ship.
You need a ship. I think that's the thing. Your question I'm answering right now. Donald Trump, President Trump, will be sitting with Mr. President Prime Minister Modi, and will be telling him clear cut how are you going to take them
Mhm.
and who is going to cover the cost. He might
Right.
say, just I don't I want to wait for your ships. My ship will take them. Just make sure the payment I got.
American taxpayer is not going to pay for that. I don't
No,
think
no,
so.
no, no, no. Even whatever these 205 people who's in first go by C-17, he's going to take care of that also. He's going to bill it. This is Mr. Trump. Don't forget it.
Mhm, mhm.
He came with the majority of the vote this time, which is very exceptional in the history of American election. Yes, Farad Bhai, up to
Yes.
you.
Farhad, do you have anything to say from last question that I asked Mr. Iftikhar Ahmed?
Thank you. Morning shows the day. It is a very old proverb, you know.
Right.
And I was suspicious about the success of the meeting when Jaishankar directly met the Secretary of State of the United States of America. You know, Jaishankar's face was not exactly happy. There was no happiness in the face of Jaishankar. Rather, the Indian foreign minister was disappointed
Are you
to have a
talking
very
about the
negative.
first meeting? Are you talking about the first meeting with Joy Shankar and Marco Rubio?
Yes, I am talking.
Oh,
Jaishankar was not in a convenient position to have a very better look in her face, in his face, sorry, in his face. And that was the gesture, the meeting, that impending meeting between Modi and Trump would be successful. I don't think so. And I think that it will be for the first time for the Indian Prime Minister that he will not get any benefit from Donald Trump, for which he is going to face the President of the United States of America, Mr. Donald Trump. Trump is really, there is a popular word being used about Donald Trump, very unpredictable, a man of unpredictable character. So the desire of Narendra Modi will not be exactly implemented. His desire will not be fulfilled. I'm sure about it. And the policy adopted by the President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, is not only for India, but for all countries of the world. It is a global policy of the United States of America, you know. And I do not believe that Donald Trump will exactly consider the Indian matter separately. India will be considerate like other states of the world under the policy of the United States of America, under the policy of Donald Trump. That's it. So the meeting will not be successful from the side of Narendra Modi, but it will be successful from the side of Donald Trump because Donald Trump will be rigid exactly on his own point. No doubt about it.
so do you think, Farhad Bhai, that the Bangladesh issue is going? Mr. Modi might arise in that meeting.
Nothing will happen if Narendra Modi will raise this point or Bangladesh issue, nothing will happen because Donald Trump does not have time exactly to look after the situation prevailing in Bangladesh. Bangladesh is a smaller nation, you know.
Mhm.
So, a president of the United States of America will not consider anything particularly prevailing in Bangladesh by any sort of recommendation or request by Narendra Modi to Donald Trump. Trump is Trump.
What do you think about the Burma Act?
Burma Act might be implemented because Donald Trump has got a particular sentiment of Julius Caesar.
Mhm.
What we are watching in the case of Gaza, he does not hesitate. He is not confused exactly to tell about the occupation of Gaza by the United States of America. He exposed it without any confusion to Jordanian King Abdullah. Abdullah
Mhm.
was found very disappointed. It was a very difficult and tough meeting for him during his whole political life. Exactly, tough meeting for Abdullah during his whole political life. And just he is in a serious trouble, and he is now praying to God, and he's remembering his late father, King Hussein, what he would he will do,
You
particularly
know,
to face Donald Trump. I'll not be surprised if Donald Trump exactly has taken a decision to install a government, a puppet government in Jordan, and exactly oust the Jordanian dynasty. That is the dynasty of Hashemite dynasty. And you know that King Abdullah is the 43rd descendant of a holy prophet, you know. But Donald Trump will not care for this at all. It will be a difficult problem for Jordan, for Egypt, and for Syria,
you know
you
that
know.
for a fact that Jordan and Egypt, they've been taking a lot of aids from United States to keep Israel for their security, and also military aid and the financial aid from United States. It's a long time. Now, do you think they have some also obligation to keep the Palestinian people and
Yes,
making
Donald Trump,
another statelyhood inside the
yeah,
state?
Donald Trump clearly said
Hmm.
that until and unless King Abdullah agrees to accept all the Palestinians living in Gaza Strip in his own kingdom, Jordan,
Mhm.
US aid, US military and financial aid will not be considered for Jordan. That will be serious threat. And what will be the condition? I was watching the meeting when it was going on between Abdullah and Donald Trump, you know, and
Mhm.
Abdullah finding no other alternative told Donald Trump that he would consult this matter with Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and other Arab countries, what might be done. But I think
Mhm.
that it is a very difficult problem for Jordan, particularly and that will be threat to the Jordanian dynasty. And how
Mm.
far it would be possible on the part of Abdullah to tackle this matter, it is a question because Trump is a very difficult person, very, I
So
mean
you
that
think?
very
So you
obstinate,
think?
very obstinate in his
So you
policy. Trump
so
is
you
very obstinate in his policy.
okay? So you think that Mr. Modi is not going to have any chance to uh, make any issues about Bangladesh and also the Manipur in that meeting? So it's gonna be
Manipur,
like.
Manipur. I think that Modi will not discuss about Manipur with Donald Trump because Modi is a cunning politician. He will not disclose his weakness because it is an internal matter of India. If he discloses the eruption or the unrest situation prevailing in Manipur to Donald Trump will catch this matter in a way that Modi is not exactly capable enough to make a control over one of the states of his union territory.
Mhm.
And that is why Modi will not mention this matter. Modi will not mention about Manipur in that meeting, in the meeting. with Donald Trump. No doubt about it. I feel like
Yeah.
so. Indian politicians are the Indian politicians are always following the Chanakya policy. They are not liking exactly to disclose their own weakness to the foreigners. It is
Mm,
clear.
one of the viewers asked a question, Mr. Munir Hussain, that he was asking that why shouldn't a fight for Rohingyas in an international arena? If I ask that the same question to Mr. Iftikhar Ahmed, what do you think about Rohingyas issues? Why not we are going to the international court and United Nations and address the issues that what we've been going through? It's about last what about almost 8 9 years now, and every years the population of Rohingyas they are increasing. Very soon we're going to have some kind of like food crisis in that region.
True. The
How do
only way out, I can say, the only way out, has anybody gone there? Has anybody put this proposal in the United Nations properly or pursued these things? Can you tell me who it is? The only person I can see that if Dr. Yunus himself goes there and proposes and finds a solution, people will listen to him. Nobody else will listen to anybody. The UN personas will not listen to anybody but Dr. Yunus. If he goes there, then it might be fruitful. We are not giving his value right now when he is with us, but when he will go to the field to solve this problem, then we can see a different result in
all the
course of time.
political leaders they are not giving him a peaceful time to think about all these things,
Brother, you
right?
was telling me about this. I was looking at this thing, issue about election. Election is in December.
So
What
how he's
about?
going to come out from Bangladesh and go to the international arena like EU and the United Nations, right?
True, true. So if he has to arrange election, he has to take the preparation from tomorrow.
Hmm.
So when he will solve all the problems? Well, what will happen to the
Before,
trial of July Revolution?
right, right.
So nothing will be there. So why people went to the street for what? I don't understand. Only for election?
Hmm.
This is sad, very sad. I will not go to details. You can understand what I mean.
Hmm. Thank you very much. If I ask Mr. Farhad Hussain, do you have any closing statements
On Rohingya issue,
on overall?
overall, I'd like to talk about Rohingya issue, you know.
Mhm,
And one thing I could feel clearly that all the parties, political parties, groups, ethnicities of Myanmar are strongly united on a particular one single agenda to consider, you know, Rohingya people as persona non grata. Even
mhm,
they are not prepared to give the status of second class citizens. And Aung San Suu Kyi, who is called the mother of democracy, you know,
mhm,
she is also rigid not to see any sort of Rohingya Muslim in the territory of Myanmar. I could recollect her statement, exactly her argument in the International Court of Justice. He supported Myanmar military junta who are responsible for the killing, ethnic cleansing, burning, looting, and everything, who are responsible for this. And Myanmar had to face International Court of Justice. And Aung San Suu Kyi, being the state head or something like what was his status, I don't know. As prime minister, equivalent to prime minister, she appeared before the International Court of Justice and started argument favoring and justifying the deeds of or the genocides or the killings, looting of the Myanmar army junta. I was surprised. I could not exactly, I could not see her. I could not know her. Is this Aung San Suu Kyi, who had been fighting for a long time for human rights,
democracy.
for
Exactly.
establishing democracy. It
Right.
was a very contrasting picture. I was watching with a very contrasting picture. I was watching her when he was standing before the International Court of Justice and started making argument in favor of the Myanmar junta responsible for killing, looting, ethnic cleansing, etc., etc. So how I can exactly feel that Myanmar government will be convinced to take their refugees back to their motherland? No, no, they will not do it. Myanmar is a peculiar country, does not care for any resolution or any directions or any kind of decision of the United Nations organization. You know that Yuthan became the Secretary General. A Myanmar man personality became the Secretary General of the United Nations organization. It was his only offense why he had become the Secretary General of the United Nations organization. He was not appreciated in his country and he died in abroad. Even he was not allowed to step his own country. Offense is that why he had become the Secretary General of the United Nations organization. Today, I'd like to remember the memory of Yuthant who supported the cause of our independence in 1971.
I'm going to ask you one question. One word. Are you optimistic about the Dr. Yunus or pessimistic?
Quite optimistic I am about him because he is a man of ample capacity to address many things. Thing is that he does not have political background, and that is why that the tricky pictures of politics like Bangladesh, he is not in the position to understand it very clearly. He is an open-minded man, and he is trying exactly to address all these problems with utter sincerity. And I think that people will remember him when they will understand that Professor Yunus had taken some attempt exactly to bring betterment for the citizens, every citizen of the republic like Bangladesh.
Thank you very much, Farhad Bhai. Thank you very much, Mr. Iftikhar Ahmed. I wish Dr. Yunus have a very good political career and lead our nation to the peaceful and prosperous nation to the world. And expecting these issues, thank you. We'll see next week again. I wish everybody good health. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.